Hello everybody, welcome back to the internet's best reactions presented by Fanatec. Oh my god, the first round is... I just can't believe it. I am so full of energy at the moment. I cannot get this smile off my face. Someone has looked at my Christmas list where I asked for an amazing 2021 season, and what a start. Hamilton versus Verstappen. We've got an amazing super week with Fanatec this week, so Tweet of the Week is winning a podium wheel, and we'll have a few more of those across the season. Let's get into your reactions. First up, at Shapansy, F1 theme song kicks in. We all wait for the bass drop, and then... I mean, I don't need to do the rest, do I? You know what that F1 theme tune is like. And by the way, just want to say, I'm sorry if I've missed any commentary, banter or memes. I was actually very lucky to be doing some F1 TV commentary this weekend and buzzing. So if you are listening, thank you so much for all the lovely messages. But back to this, back to Formula One being back. I'm just... I'm floored. My mind is all over the shop, so I'll try and cover everything. But the fact that Formula One is back anyway, I've said back quite a few times already in this segment, buzzing, absolutely buzzing. At William Heyman, this year's We Race as One message. Anyone else think that was a bit weird? Well, not the We Race as One message as a whole, but just that particular person being part of it. Anyway. We move on. At Will Siski we're going to keep it upbeat. We're not going to linger on things that make us upset. When the F1 theme tune comes on the telly for the very first in 2021. Look, I actually preferred the 2019 theme, like the whole edit, the video edit, the intro, the most, because it was punchy. It was punchy on the duns, you know? So I feel like the last two have been a little bit... not lackluster, because especially this year's, you know, you're just buzzing, aren't you? But I feel like it could be a bit punchier. AFC Julia, Alex watching Checo's car. So this was, of course, on the formation lap where Sergio Perez's car literally just turned off. Just coming round the penultimate corner, I think it was. Just switched off. I don't know how he managed to get it to start again, because it was fully black. No power, no nothing. You could even see that he was ready to take his steering wheel out of the car and he was going to retire. But then he managed to get it up and running, and then an amazing P5 after a little bit of a disappointing qualifying. I did joke on Twitter about, should we talk about the second Red Bull seat? That was more alluding to it being cursed rather than Perez not having talent. And, well, he showed in the race that he's still definitely got it and making progress already. At Demon S Clomo, everyone when Mazepin crashed. Yeah. There was, you know, I would never celebrate anyone crashing or putting their lives in danger, but wow. What an absolutely horrendous weekend that man has had. And I have no sympathy for him. Clayton Ange for Perez switching mediums into mediums. Yeah. I don't really know what the reasoning for that was. Maybe he had a puncture from going offline, or not sure. So if anyone has that information, I'm sure you'll be ferociously typing in the comment section right now. But yeah, it was a bit odd that he went from mediums to mediums again. But hey ho, that's it still worked out okay, and I don't think he would... well, Norris maybe was someone that he would have liked to have finished ahead of, but P5 is still a solid performance. Sad Bow. Lando versus Leclerc is looking spicy. It was a good little battle, wasn't it, between those two? It was elbows out, and Lando, of course, won that battle in the end. But the fact that Leclerc, who looked very slow at the start of the race, managed to then kind of sort out his race pace in the middle and last parts of the event, and wasn't actually too bad at all. Of course, got pipped by Perez at the end, but overall, Ferrari looking much better than I think a lot of people anticipated. Of course, testing they did look okay, but you never know until you get to round one and you think, oh, maybe, you know, Ferrari are just trying to, you know, just push a few lap times out there on testing. But no, they were decent. Ferro_Francesco, Hamilton pitting early, me at the moment. I think that was pretty much everybody throughout the entire race. Because even I was completely bewildered as to who was going to win. Obviously out of Verstappen and Hamilton after Bottas had his slow pit stop. But it was the unknown, wasn't it? The tyres weren't... It's not like previous many years ago where the Pirellis just shredded and died. It was more the fact that sometimes the softs were working okay, and then the mediums, and then it was a switch between the mediums and the hard. the hards, Hamilton had 15 laps or so on his second stint and then just decided to pop in for another set of hards. So none of us thought he would then go on to the end of the race, I think 28, 29 laps on his last stint on another set of hards. It was just a mind... I wanted to use a bad word there. You know what I was going to say. It was mind blown. There were lots of... It was very confusing. But that's what made it so exciting. At Collins Thea, seeing Perez going from last to fourth. Of course, this was before some pit stops and whatnot, but yeah, I think a lot of people were getting on the Perez hype train. He was still a little bit slower than Verstappen, but, as long as he's making those improvements and as long as he's showing the potential, it's good, right? But the fact is, Albon also did good last to fifth drives. It's about when he's in the mix with the Mercedes, can he hang on? And we'll find out. We will. Really-ardy F1 comes in with 1.7 between Verstappen and Lewis. Where are we? What have we got in front of us, guys and girls? 2021, 23 race season, and it looks as if Mercedes and Red Bull are on a par. Not Red Bull turning up with 3 races to go. They genuinely should have won that race. And not for Hamilton's amazing strategy and also doing an amazing job on that last stint, they wouldn't have won the race. And I think it's 50% what the engineers managed to do and what they managed to create in this quite a pretty decent strategy, to be fair. If anything, you want to be the car ahead, and Verstappen said in his post-race interview that, overtaking is still difficult. We're not in the 2022 regulations yet. So I was just relishing the up-and-coming youngster. Verstappen is still young, remember? And then Hamilton, the 7-time champion. Let's just give me that the entire season, please. Let's talk about some other people now. Battery Voltas comes in with Alonso fighting Vettel. What year is it? I thought Vettel put up a decent fight. I know that he didn't get the result he wanted, and he did crash into Ocon, which was... he decided to somehow try and blame Ocon for changing line when Ocon didn't change line at all. It was Vettel. But, there were moments where it was a little bit, lackluster. But I think Vettel actually put up a nice fight, to be honest. I think it was between Sainz, Alonso and himself. They just kept swapping. I think there's a meme coming up shortly. But I was quite impressed with Vettel. He was on, pretty old mediums, and he had that fight, that spirit that maybe we hadn't seen last year. And as if by magic, the next tweet is nuanced humour. Allo Vet Sainz. So it was Alonso, Vettel and Sainz battle. It was brilliant. The DRS was just kind of helping them all sort of jostle for position. Great to see Alonso back involved. I was a little bit not hesitant, annoyed. I wasn't annoyed. It was a shame not to see the likes of Guan Yu Zhou, for example, get the opportunity at Alpine coming into this year. But at the same time, it's great to see Alonso back. Seeing him there, and he's getting the most out of the car. Outperformed Ocon as well. It's good to have Fernando back, and he's only going to get better over the course of the season. Aaron Goshawk, Sonoda as he passes Alonso. I love Sonoda. I say is anyone. I know most people absolutely love Sonoda because he's just got a great personality. He's got a tenacious driving style, and he's even more tenacious on the team radio when something doesn't go his way or if someone gets in his way. He's very quickly becoming one of my favourites to watch on track and listen to. He just sounds like he's such a nice guy, but he wants to win, and that's awesome. We've actually got a double tweet, so sorry. Ferro_Francesco comes in with another one. Don't have a go at me, guys. It's been a busy day. Mercedes extending turn 4 track limits. That was a bit odd, wasn't it? Of course, in qualifying you weren't allowed to do it, but in the race you were allowed to do it until you weren't allowed to do it. And it was just a little bit confusing. So you even heard Verstappen on the team radio saying, well, I thought we weren't allowed to do that. And then they'll go, well, the Mercedes are both doing it, so do it until we get told not to. And then, of course, the confusion is then Verstappen makes the move around Hamilton, extends, and then, gets the position. But I think the Stonewall statement from the stewards was the fact that you can't make an overtake using anything other than the track. So they were kind of lenient on the extensions up until a certain point. It's confusing for the drivers, and it's even more confusing for us watching, right? So it just needs to be a blanket statement where it's like, this is allowed or this isn't allowed. Don't change it between sessions. Meh UTD comes in with Mercedes Bahrain pit stops. Anything with trash cans just works for me. And of course, that's alluding to Bottas's poor stop. He was kind of a sitting duck and a rear gunner the whole time. Mercedes just kind of chucked his race away to try and enable Lewis to then attack Verstappen on an alternative strategy, which I can understand from a team's perspective, but at the same time, if you're Bottas, you're a little bit annoyed. First race of the season, and you're not really given a chance. Now, I didn't see this because I didn't actually hear the commentary. Crystal Horner Comes in with Crofty and Brundle discussing when the 21st century started while Hamilton and Verstappen are fighting for a win. If that's what they were actually doing, that's not good. Moving on. Alex_Kontok, Sonoda passing almost every driver of the grid. Now, of course, it's bad, he's a small guy, but he kind of harnesses that. He jokes about it, and I like that about him, that he can, he said he was going to grow in the off-season, and that was his main target for 2021. So, yeah, love Yuki the rookie. Yuki the rookie. There you go.
Who has won Tweet of the Week?
Right, we're now into Tweet of the Week at Super Tweet of the Week, in fact, where we're giving away an amazing Fanatec prize, a podium wheel worth a huge amount of money, it has to be said, and it's going to at Tay Farak. Unfortunately, using someone that we don't like to talk about too much here, but the meme's brilliant. So this whole weekend summarised. Is there any more to say? I don't think so, but Jules, well done on winning an amazing Super Tweet of the Week prize. There will be a few more across the season, as I say. Use the hashtag WTF1 to get involved in this series. You know the drill, but well done. Enjoy your new Fanatec wheel. At Rhino_Paringo, how is your heart rate? Of course, this was to do with Verstappen chasing down Hamilton on a brand new set of hard tyres. Hamilton, of course, sort of working around the tyre wear, and I was just loving life. Let me know what you guys were doing during this moment. Were you on the edge of your seat? Were you sat back on Twitter? Were you running around your room? I want to know. Burnout Race News. Verstappen is now in DRS range. Yeah, we're thinking... What I'm thinking actually at that moment is, how is Verstappen going to react and act in this situation where finally, for the first time ever, he believes he can win a world championship? I don't think it was going to boil over necessarily in the first round, but I'm really interested to see how his mentality and his personality is both on and off track. If, say, in the middle of the season, he's leading the championship or still fighting Hamilton. It's going to be so interesting. I can't wait. I'm so full of adrenaline, it's frightening. I can't even say adrenaline. I'm so full of adrenaline, it's frightening. Bay Dixie 0, Hamilton during the last laps. Yeah. It was a phenomenal drive from Lewis, and kind of sort of quietened down the not the haters, but the people that came out after the short version of Bahrain last year, where Russell took over Hamilton's seat after Lewis got COVID. And a lot of people questioned, do you need Lewis? I think that race and many others he's had already is a great example and a refreshing example as to why Mercedes do need Lewis. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure Max would have won that race. Bisson_ following the end of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now, I disagree with this. I was buzzing, even with the fact Lewis Hamilton won. Obviously, I'd like to have seen Max potentially win, because who knows if Mercedes will get their act together by Imola, but I was just buzzing at the fact that we had a close battle. The last lap of the race, we had a battle for the lead. And you can't say we've seen many of those unless it's Hamilton chasing Bottas at the end of the race. Other way around, it never really happened. So I was pretty happy. MS_9197, Mercedes, we are far behind Red Bull. Also Mercedes. I don't think they were necessarily sandbagging or trying to tell us porcupines. I genuinely think they were behind. You look at them in testing, you look at the onboards in practice as well, they were struggling a lot. So clearly they took a lot of time to kind of strip back a few things and kind of understand a setup where it may not necessarily be as quick, but it needs to be stable and consistent. And of course that's brought Red Bull into play, where they've created an amazing car. So I don't think they were lying to us as such, but there's always mind games in the paddock. Maya Kitten reads, did Yuki get a point? Yuki totally got a point. I feel like there's going to be a lot of Baby Yoda memes, because obviously he's a small guy. But, we'll try and stick away from just calling him small. But still, at the same time, buzzing with the fact he got a point. But his post-race interview, he was actually wanting more, which is a great attribute for a driver. Not to be satisfied with a point or two here or there. He wants more, which is great. Formula Reaction, love this Twitter account. The FIA right now. I love a bit of High School Musical as well, so that's cheeky. But yeah, that's probably runner-up to Tweet of the Week, but you don't get any prizes for that, I'm sorry. BowX313, Max would beat Lewis in an equal car. Max doesn't beat Lewis in a faster car. Now, I don't think the Red Bull was massively faster than the Mercedes. I think it definitely was the better package over the weekend. And I also came out with a little tweet saying, kind of shushing the haters. The ones that just want to shoot down Lewis's achievements, because if he didn't have the fastest car every year, he wouldn't have 7 world titles. But that's the beauty of Formula One. The best drivers will end up in the best seats and stay there. That's what Lewis has done. He doesn't just rock up on a Friday, get in the car, drive, fastest lap, cool, Saturday, Sunday. You know, there's a huge amount of work that goes on behind the scenes to make the Mercedes, make the Red Bull the fastest cars on the grid. People seem to just sweep that aside. Lewis is one of those that, from what I've seen in Drive to Survive, which of course, you have to take with a pinch of salt sometimes, but, the fact that he is there earliest in the day, leaves last at night as well. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. You don't become a 7-time world champion without putting the work in. So that's why I'm just a little bit, I just don't like the ones that just kind of, push aside his achievements and say, well, he's got a fast car. That's it. Nah. And finally, another one actually from Battery Voltas. Bottas getting screwed by strategy, slow pit stop. Poor guy. I hope Valtteri, especially after Drive to Survive, it kind of showed that more human side to him, and to be fair, he is a bit of a joker anyway. You can't help but go, oh, he's number 2 driver, he's not good enough, but he is a really nice guy, and genuinely I hope he does get a few moments where he can shine. He says he's worked on a lot of race pace over the off season and trying to sort out the bits and bobs that mean that he can't beat Lewis Hamilton over the last few years. I don't think he will win the championship or get massively close to Lewis, but I'd like for him to have his day, but then not say, to whom it may concern when, maybe he's benefited from other people's bad luck. That didn't sit well with many people, did it? Social Media Team Championship time now, and we're back. The first round of the season. Who is going to get off to a good start in Bahrain? In third position, we have Haas F1 team. Checks mentions. You know exactly what lap that was from. And you know exactly why they were checking their mentions and seeing that. 1 point. In second place, we have an amazing meme-worthy picture that they posted of Kimi Raikkonen's, of course, Alfa Romeo, and, well, what more do we need than Kimi Raikkonen holding up a banner? 2 points. And finally, the winners of the Social Media Team Championship for Round 1 Bahrain are the winners of the actual Grand Prix. Mercedes AMG Petronas F1 team. AMG gives you wings. Sassy. I like it. There's going to be a lot more back and forth, I think. I'd like to see Red Bull get their elbows out on social media as well as on the racetrack. But well done, Mercedes. You get the maximum points of 3 of them.
And now it's time for Race Rundown with your host, Matthew Gallagher.
Oh God, it's race rundown time now. I haven't done this in a very long time, so I'm just going to do it and see what happens. Okay, here we go then. The finishers of the Bahrain Grand Prix for round 1 were Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Oh God, I actually felt my entire body tense up. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. I need to make that bigger. Oh no, that makes my whole screen like, okay, it's fine. I'm going to have to do it. I'm just going to stop being a wuss. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris, Perez, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Sainz, Tsunoda. Well, that's not easy. Stroll, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Ocon, Russell, Vettel, Schumacher, Gasly, Latifi. Wow. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris, Perez. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas. Oh. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas. No. I'm actually washed up. Hamilton, Verstappen, Boras. Who is Boris? Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Perez, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Sainz, Tsunoda. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas. Hamilton, Verstappen, Boris. Why do I keep calling him Boris? Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Perez, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Sainz, Tsunoda, Stroll, Raikkonen. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Perez, Leclerc, Ricciardo. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris. Perez. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas. Oh my God. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas, Norris, Perez, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Sainz, Tsunoda, Stroll, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Ocon, Russell, Vettel, Schumacher, Gasly, Latifi. There you go. Woohoo! And the non-finishers were Alonso Mazepin. Good. And finally, before we go, we held an awesome competition on Instagram where one of you could win a signed Lando picture, and the winner is _Molly.Atkinson_. So well done, Molly. You win an amazing prize, but fear not. If you fancy getting yourself one of them, we've got 20% off. So the code will be on screen right about now. And if you fancy getting one yourself, the link is in the description. It's a pretty awesome thing, and it's signed from Lando. So there you go. Right, there you have it. The first Internet's Best Reactions is done and dusted. Super week with Fanatec. We also gave an amazing prize away with F1 Authentics. If you want to get involved next time, use the hashtag WTF1 on social media and we'll pick the very best ones to be featured next time in 3 weeks for Imola. I am going to have an amazing rest of my evening because it's just been such an awesome first round. I hope you guys are excited for the rest of the season too. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye! That was so weird. That looked like Race Rundown. Was that the way it goes like that? Bye!